You can see it from a long way away. Well, at least from across the water in the Olympic Park. The Science and Technology Museum is something I've been meaning to visit for a while, but finally the time seemed just right. Well, maybe right is one of those relative terms. I've come on a weekend, admittedly in the school holidays, but one look confirms to your favourite podcaster that it's almost standing room only inside. Or should that read sitting room only? Stuck to the walls are some old photographs of technology in all of its many guises. The space race in 1957, for instance. Or a few years later when Yuri Gagarin and others ventured to new frontiers. But no one gives any of these pictures a second glance. Maybe an explanation of magneto-rheological fluid dynamics will get them queuing up for more. Not many takes here either, for that matter. I make my way up to the top floor, always a good place to start in Chinese museums. Way down below are groups of school kids obviously doing plenty of scientific research on their mobile phones. I noticed that around the central atrium are a number of sculptures from an international itinerant exhibition of Olympic sculptures. I count over 50 in all. For instance, a masterpiece called Notices from the Water by Jiang Hua, who is an artist living in Hebei. There's another sculpture called Olympic Spirit by Edward Eighth of the USA. I'm trying to work out why these sculptures have ended up in a technology museum and can only assume they couldn't find anywhere else to put them. There is, after all, plenty of space on all floors around the guardrails of the central atrium. Shortly after, I find some live demonstrations of science in action. One guy is pouring liquid nitrogen from one flask into another, and a girl is doing something incomprehensible with a magnet and a rod. It's obviously so inspiring that it's caused one student to do some more research on the topic on her mobile phone, while her friend closes her eyes to better contemplate the sheer mind-boggling amazing miracles of science. Lest I too overdose on incredible factoids, I fight my way through the crowds to have a conversation with the inventor of the periodic table, Dmitry Ivanovich Mendeleev. Yes, I know he died in 1907, but with modern technology, surely anything is possible, isn't it? But unfortunately, however hard I press the red buttons surrounding his office, Mr. Mendeleev is fast asleep and cannot be woken. No matter, I guess my Russian wouldn't have been up to it anyway. I mosey on to find an area devoted to mechanics. How would I like to play at being a balance weight on a penny-farthing bike that is riding along a rope? I note the stricture that before you unfasten the seatbelt and leave the seat, please make sure the bike rider has already taken off the bicycle. I just can't wait. Time to make my way to another floor for more excitement. Here, there's an incredible machine that amply demonstrates the power of technological innovation. Mind you, it takes a while for one intrepid duo to work out how it operates. You place money into a slot, then you press a button, and then as a reward a bottle of Coke drops through a letterbox-type door. Incredible! Chinese innovation at its best. What on earth will they come up with next? I reach the ground floor, where hidden away at the back is yet one more exhibition zone, Glory of China. First up is a machine that is driven by a water wheel. This drives a bar with paddles that operate levers that have hammers at the far end. I can only assume this is the origin of that expression, using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. Amazing. There's also a half-section model that displays the structural characteristics of post and lintel construction. It looks like it could have come straight out of the Ancient Architecture Museum. "But what does it do, Mummy?" asks one of these kids who is obviously taken by the amazing construction techniques of her forebears. At least, I think that's what she's asking. Mummy gives up trying to explain and leads them on to other exciting civil engineering tableaus. The two Wunderkinder have beaten me to a 1:5 scale model of the Fu ship in the Ming Dynasty, actually 31 metres by 8.5 metres and boasting 3 masts. They are obviously amazed that the watertight cabins divide the whole main cabin into several separate cabin areas, so that even if 1 or 2 of the cabins were to break down, letting water in, the other cabins would not be affected and the ship could still stay on course. They have obviously noted the operational instructions. Visitors can observe the model at close distance. and have a picture taken for posterity that no doubt one day they will show off with pride to their own kids. Now, what have we here? It's a bronze acupuncture figure that apparently played an important role in ancient acupuncture education in China, showing clinical acupuncture points. This particular bronze figure is marked with 357 named acupuncture points out of an actual total of 664. I guess the remaining 307 weren't that important, or maybe they had another bronze figure to show them off too. And, oh my God, I thought the Natural History Museum was going a bit OTT in showing off pickled fetuses, but here we have a collection of tongues. According to traditional Chinese medical opinion, the human body is an integrated unit, and the tongue can be a mirror to reflect the physiology and pathology of the human body. Oh, it's okay, they're just models of tongues. Phew. I quickly move on to astronomy. The armillary sphere is used to locate the position of celestial bodies and measure time. It's divided into inner, medium, and external layers, we are told. It looks just like the display in Departures of Beijing's capital airport Terminal 3, that itself looks like something straight out of the ancient observatory. But alas, the airport cannot boast a model of Zhang Heng's seismograph, which is not an oversized tea-urn, despite what you might think at first. Invented in 132 AD by astronomer Zhang Heng, it was used to determine the direction of an earthquake. Now trust me, I know what I'm talking about on this. Have you ever watched IT specialists installing software and then checking out that it actually works? Can you imagine a seismological expert checking out the installation of one of these things? Another expression comes to mind: watching paint dry. Across the corridor from the wonders of seismology, we come across the wonders of bell construction. You might not be aware that your favourite podcaster used to be an avid campanologist, so I'm drawn like a magnet to the display of flat and round-shaped bells. Of course, I've already visited Beijing's Bell Museum, but it's interesting to be told that flat bells have the phenomenon of one bell, two tones due to their tile shape, while round bells have only one tone because they are symmetrical. Well, that's what we're told here, but I think experts might well disagree. But hey, this is China. Let's not be pedantic. No doubt the laws of physics work somewhat differently over here. Visitors are allowed to bash away on a set of bells, and there's even some sheet music to help in the creation of simple melodies. But shush! With so much information to absorb from one museum, some people are trying to organize their subconscious thoughts into a meaningful order, the better to become not just older, but wiser too. I guess learning can be hard work sometimes.